You had a fantastic start. You got Lance in the pit stops, and then problem at the restart, and he gets you back. A tough old afternoon today. What do you take away from the race?
Yeah, for sure. It was a little bit disappointing on my behalf because really good work at the start, making positions, really good work around the pit stops, overtaking Lance. And then I was feeling confident, went in deep into turn one and got a bit caught off guard by Fernando braking quite early. I had to take avoiding action, and the next 90 seconds it all went downhill, losing the position to Lance and Lewis. But the facts are, even if I perhaps got ahead of Fernando and finished P5 or P8, that's far from where we want to be, and we need to keep on pushing.
We see sparks of performance from this car, and then some of it doesn't always translate, whether it doesn't translate in quali, it doesn't translate in race. It feels like you're still learning about this car all the time, and you're waiting for this update as well. Where do you feel you'll be next weekend in Miami? Because Aston seem to think they're going to have the edge over you and Ferrari in Miami.
Yeah, I think when I look at the last few races, we've done quite a good job of improving the car across the course of the weekend. And looking back on this weekend, the car was probably not in its perfect window. We have one practice session. Same for everybody. It's a challenge, but I think we probably got the setup in the wrong place for where it needed to be, which was always going to be challenging on a format like this. So I trust Miami will be able to do a better job in that regard. But small details. We saw yesterday qualifying P4 in the sprint, finishing P4. Today, we finished P8, and I'm sure it's going to be a similar story next week in Miami.
And just finally, for me, you mentioned the sprint. We obviously only had that hour's running of practice, which was interrupted anyway on Friday. Do you think that's probably the one element of the sprint that needs to be looked at? Because so many of you said then we haven't got the setup right, and we're stuck with it now for the entire weekend. Yeah,
I think these cars are so complex, the tyres are so complex. It's you need a little bit of learning to be done, and for all the the great engineers here, it's a bit of a shame that they're stuck after practice with nothing really to do. And then also in the sprint race itself, we're on a medium set of tyres. It's pretty straightforward to get that to the end. I don't think there was much action other than lap one. It was all pretty boring, I think. So I'm not against the format. I think some details need changing and improving, but I wouldn't mind going back home, watching it from the sofa and seeing what I think.